Hey guys, welcome back to the Builder's Corner. This week in the Builder's Corner, we are continuing on with the annual maintenance that we were doing on the cruiser. This is the last stage of it. All I have to do now is true the wheel, mainly both wheels, but mainly the motor, mainly the hub motor wheel that needs to be trued. It is the one on the front, it is the one that's leading, and it's the one I'm most concerned about. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. And without further ado, let's get to it. Welcome to the Cruiser Racer channel. I'm Rebel Lion of the Electron Rebels, and this is my creative space. I call it the Builder's Corner. The Builder's Corner is the home for electric bike enthusiasts. And in this space, we're always on the hunt for the perfect canvas. A canvas for me is a bike frame. Nothing excites me more than turning something old into something new. So if this appeals to you and you like what we like too, then subscribe to this channel. Here in the Builder's Corner, you'll learn about bike mechanics and DIY custom e-bike builds. Now, let's get to the show. Here we are at the wheel truing stand, and this was one of the pieces of equipment that I knew was just going to be very beneficial for this shop, mainly because riding wheels, especially riding on a regular basis as much as I do, riding the bike with the wheels that are in the bike or on the bike, they become out of true when going over bumps or when riding on rough terrain, hopping a curb. I mean, things happen, right? They're basically just spokes that are tightened, that have tension that keep this wheel round. So yeah, that's basically what is going on with the wheel, right? So you're gonna need to align, and that's basically what you're doing when you're truing a wheel. You're going to need to align it on a I wouldn't say a regular basis, but you definitely need to check them every few months or so. I would say, especially if you ride as much as I do, you want to check them for their alignment and make sure that their rolling is straight as possible. As they get older, they don't align as perfectly as they do when they're new, but you can still get them aligned pretty well. You can true them still pretty well, depending on how your technique. So anyhow, this is the truing stand. I wanted to take the wheel out to give a better idea of what's going on here, and this is what it is. So this cost me $30. $30 a second cycle. It came in as a donation, and I was able to repurchase this for $30. It's not going to go down. I forgot I've tightened this screw here on the inside, and it's what helps it to, or is it this one? Maybe, oh, that's right, forgot. There's this latch here. So there it is, right there. Okay, cool. So here it is. So it folds down. You can store it, I could store it and put it away anytime. I tend to leave it up because it's what I'm doing right now. Anyhow, you fold it down, fold it back up, and when you're using it, and this is how it works. Now, I have this white piece of paper down here, and there's a reason why, and I'm going to explain as I move forward. So fold it up, throw your axle in either here for I would say regular size axle, and then here for a wider axle, which is what I got with the hub here, the motor. So I could use for just a standard wheel. I could just throw it up here. And this is just fine for truing a standard wheel, but with a larger axle, which is, like I said, I have with this here, if it's wider, it's definitely larger. So yeah, that goes in this one here. Once you got it lined up, you'll use this here riser. This is basically the 2 points that you will use to roll against your rim. As your rim rolls or circles, or excuse me, as your rim rolls forward or backwards on here, as you're finding the spot to which side pulls to either the right or the left. These are basically the 2 points that you're using to figure out how well aligned or how badly aligned the wheel is. And then there's another one down at the bottom here, which is which you'll use to make sure your wheel is aligned round. So what happens is the spokes become loose, and if they become too loose in certain place, I wouldn't say in a certain place, but if they become too loose, your wheel becomes more oval, or more of an oval than a circle. Okay, so basically, you'll need to check to make sure that your wheel is still round, and the way you do that is with this point here. This one is what you use to make sure that your wheel is still round. So I don't think I did a very good job at explaining that. I think I could demonstrate it a lot better than I can explain it, so I'm going to do that. All right, so once you got it inside, I tighten them down, tighten the wheel down to make sure that as I'm spinning, it doesn't hop out, which it won't because the axle here is pretty tight. But anyhow, so let's check for how well aligned this is. So I am going to bring the camera around and show how I'm aligning this here. I don't know how I'm gonna make this work, but let's work it out. All right, so here we are, and this is where I'm gonna go ahead and line up the 2 points here. So I personally favor a particular side that I like to align towards. So I favor the left side more. So I'll go ahead and roll this point in closer to the left and then make my turns. So of course, as it's scraping closer to the left side, that tells me that the wheel is pulling more left on those sides. When it goes off and it doesn't, it tells me that it's not pulling more right, but it's more aligned in the center. So these are points right there where I need to loosen the spokes on this side and tighten them on the right side, because they're pulling to the left and I need them to pull more to the right. So that's what's going to happen right now. I'm going to go ahead and start aligning what's scraping as the wheel turns. Yeah. Now, the reason why I have this paper down here, the white paper, because it helps me to see the gaps, or the gaps in between. Right, you see, as you can see, it's scraping there. See, I can see how it pulls off right there. I got space right there. Pulls off. Right. And then it gets close right there. And that's where it's starting to rub. So that the white paper helps me to see the gap in between the rim and the point for where it starts to rub and where it pulls away. Yeah. So yeah, let's go ahead and start doing this. We interrupt this program for a word from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is Cruiser Racer. Cruiser Racer is more than just a channel on YouTube. It is an entire platform based on electric bike building and enthusiasm. The first way you can help support this channel is by liking this video and subscribing. And if you'd like to go a little further, check out our store on Teesprings. In the store, you'll find eye-popping and authentic designs from the Cruiser Racer line and the Electron Rebels. This is a great way to support this entire platform and help us grow. So head on over to the store and check out our designs today. Now back to the show. So now we're checking for roundness. As I run the wheel, as I roll the wheel, I should say. Yeah, let's try to get a good angle on this so that it is visibly able to see. Okay, so as I roll the wheel around, it dips. It will, if it's round, it will just roll on top without touching this metal plate. If it touches that metal plate, then if it dips, that means that the wheel is not round. Alright, looks like that. We'll get the better angle here. You can see. See a little better. And so it's not hitting as bad as it was before. I've already taken some of the spoke tension and pulled it inward so that I could round it more. But you can still see, like right there, see how that it dips right there, rolls off, and then there's a dip right there where it'd be touching, right? Dip there. Nothing there. Oh, there's the dip. So I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling that out and bringing it in more. So here's what I need to do. When I've identified the area where the wheel hops, I need to tighten them in a group. Think of the group as a family. Here is the area and family of spokes where the wheel hops, and this is the direction that tightens the spokes. When tightening a family of spokes, the wheel pulls closer to the hub. These spokes, these group of spokes right here, is where my dipping is happening. So these 4 spokes, this family of spokes right here, is where I need to tighten up. I've been on a mission to become as proficient with wheel truing as I possibly can, so I admit that I'm a bit of a perfectionist. What I will do is continue to raise the plate as I work out the dip and try to get the dip completely out. But please know that unless you're a master at wheel truing, you're almost never going to get a perfect wheel. This spoke nipple wrench is not my favorite type to use. It is just the only one that I've collected so far, and it is the most commonly used with home mechanics. There are a handful of styles much better than this wrench, and I'm looking to acquire some soon. It's a lot better. And I can't get it absolutely perfect because there is a bit of a dent right here in the wheel. In the rim. So, you know, it's not going to be perfect, but definitely won't be wobbly either. Alright, so I've gotten that. I'm going to go ahead and bring this down, bring this back up, because I've just finished tightening a lot of spokes, and that can mean that this wheel would be out of alignment again. So I have to bring that back to alignment. There we go. Hey, you! Oh, me? Yes, you! Do you enjoy the content on this channel? Would you like to help us grow? Well, finger the like button and subscribe to this channel. The YouTube algorithm likes to reward these types of behaviors, so don't hold back. Thanks for your support. Now, back to the show. Alright, now that we got that all done, let's go ahead and take a look at the final project. Alright, well, the cruiser's put back together, and I just want to say, hey, the hand survived, and so did the finger. But yes, everything is back together. So a few things I plan on doing here for the season. One is finding more tires. I want to make sure the white walls stay for the drier seasons. Right now, during the winter here in Washington and all the rain, they're just going to get really filthy, as you can see right there. So I'm definitely going to be getting some white wall cleaner, and I will be changing the tires for the season to a wide balloon but all black. I also added a new light to the cruiser. This here cat's eye. Notice riding at night, this lamp isn't really great for looking at the ground to see what's ahead of me. So I went ahead and added this cat's eye light, which is very, very bright, and that'll give me good range to see the ground when I'm out riding. And then I'll still use this one here for cars, just to see me. And so yeah, I added a new light. I got 2 lights in the front, 2 lights in the back, and I also got this really cool phone case, or phone holder, phone mount. That's what it is, a phone mount. So, you know, before I was using my case here, but I no longer need to do that. I found this really cool phone mount, swivels, turns, you know, expands, works out real nice. Let's see, other than that, these brakes back here are doing what they need to do. Still a bummer that I cannot find the right brakes for the Cruiser. This is definitely still a challenge. The brakes that I ordered from a distributor got bumped, and I'm not sure if they're ever going to be getting these in. So, you know, when worst comes to worst, if I ever have to replace the front, I will be doing the same thing and putting a shorter reach side pull brake here on the back or inside of the frame to make it work, because that's what I had to do with this one. But other than that, everything here works well and it looks great. I'm very happy with the final outcome of this whole maintenance. It's only done once a year. Maintaining the Cruiser is not easy because this is not a very light bike. This is a heavy bike and there's a lot going on. Things have to come off and take apart. Think about that when you're building. I personally don't mind because I love my build, but if you are someone who doesn't want to go through a bunch of this when you have to do maintenance on your bike, don't do this. Don't do this. Gratefully, in my case, the Cruiser is just my second one. I mainly use the Racer for commuting and getting around, and the Cruiser is just my Cruiser. I pull it out when I want to take a nice slow ride. I love this bike, guys. It's my first. It's my baby. And truthfully, as much as I do love the Racer, this is the one that I'm most proud of. So that's maintenance. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode of Bike Talk. Thank you so much for watching. I truly hope that this episode or this video gave you more insight on how to true a wheel. But to be totally honest with you, truing a wheel is an art. There are people who are just basically good at truing wheels, and then there are people who are just basically good at being mechanics. Not all mechanics can master wheel truing, but when you pick it up and when you got it, it takes your skills to a whole new level. So, if you don't know how to true a wheel, and it's something that you're interested in, I highly recommend getting a stand and just working on as many as you can to get to that place where you need to be. Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please show me by fingering the like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode where I will meet you here. Until then, have a great week of riding. Stay safe and ride easy.